Yo, what is up? Happy Monday. Hopefully everyone had an awesome weekend. Couldn't do the video on Sunday this week because we were out of town. Here's some screaming in the background. There is a bounce house inflated in my front yard and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 children in it. We are hosting the neighborhood, apparently. This is what happens when you inflate bounce houses in your front yard. But yeah, a lot of fun here at the King House. Let's talk a little weekend review preview, and then we'll dive into kind of this week's intuitive eating stuff. Last week, a lot of fun, a lot of good stuff. Hopefully everyone had an awesome Father's Day. Got another fun week of programming. We've still got about 4 more weeks in this strength cycle, and then I'm coordinating all the accessory lifting bodybuilding cycle, so that'll be coming up in the next couple weeks, and I'll let you guys know about that. Hopefully I can have everything dialed in by the end of this week, and then be able to start posting on Monday and talk about it in the Cup of Joe next week. We've just had a couple berserker weekends with the little dude's birthday and all that good stuff. What else? We have the 4th of July shirts. Got a couple more days on those. I will be pulling those like Tuesday afternoonish, so I can get all those ordered and bleached and all that good stuff. A lot of good feedback on those shirts. We've really enjoyed that. I've been getting a lot of good feedback lately, so keep all the questions coming. We always talk about the more you're engaged, the more you're involved, the better we are. Oh, that being said, Friday, and I even forgot to write this up. Friday we're gonna do a little barbecue. I say barbecue, and I'm gonna order pizza. I say that because we're gonna do a little strongman inspired workout, and we're gonna order some strongman pizza. So make it full circle. I might though convince Troy, he doesn't know this, to maybe do some to barbecue up some things for us. So we'll have a little combo platter. So that'll be a lot of fun. So that's coming up on Friday evening. So stay tuned for that. More details to come. But typical, I'll try and get all the food ready to go by 5. We won't have the 7 p.m. class because we'll be hanging out. We'll have space for the kiddos, all that kind of good stuff. So a lot of fun there. That'll be this coming up Friday. Other than that, I think that's kind of it. We're full steam ahead. I'm trying to make some plans. I'm going to potentially be out of town 4th of July, so I'm trying to figure out exactly how to kind of structure a couple things around that. But yeah, just enjoy the summertime, even though it's a little cloudy today, but embracing this cooler weather. So let's dive a little bit. Obviously this week with the intuitive eating stuff, a lot of talk about hunger cues, what being hungry is, satiety. I want to talk about kind of my journey through this section of kind of intuitive eating and how I've used it. So one thing Kelly touched on was like hunger scarcity, and she talked a little bit about growing up and not having maybe food readily available, whether through like situationally, like she had talked about like maybe making too much noise and going into the kitchen wasn't a good idea, so she avoided that. I never had that. One thing I did have is coming from an endurance background, like doing the road bike and the mountain bike thing. There is a problem where if you're under fueled, in cycling, it's what they call bonking. And what that means is you've essentially exhausted your glycogen storages in your muscles and your body shuts down. Like, I don't mean shut down like you're gonna die, but like everything gets shaky. Like, I'm talking, I've had this happen where, I could barely pedal up a hill, right? And a hill that I would normally pedal up at, let's say 15 miles an hour, I can't, like, you just got nothing. You've also called hitting the wall. So a lot of times I have this weird, like, oh, I didn't fuel properly leading in this workout. I'm going to fall apart, which is not true, because back in those days, that's more based around like endurance efforts. Like we're talking 2-3 hour races, not a 7-minute Metcon, right? And I'm not saying what we're doing is not valuable. I'm just saying that it's different. You know, I've built up enough, not only residual fitness, but I've fueled my body, right? Like I ate last night. It's not like because I didn't have a banana this morning that I'm just going to fall apart. And I kind of know what those cues are now. If I am getting a little shaky or whatever, that I know how to fuel myself. So I've always kind of had this weird fear around like not fueling and hitting a wall, which maybe sometimes I eat when I don't really need to, you know. So I think I've definitely screwed up some of my hunger cues. I also deal with, because I've like tracked and measured my food, I can get extremely neurotic about it, to a fault. That becomes problematic. I've tried to, like, proteins really help out with satiety, and so do like fatty foods. My body doesn't respond great to fatty foods, so I don't eat a lot of them. So like, and I'm not saying this because it's my mother-in-law, but my mother-in-law will always talk about, Ashley's mom will always talk about like, God, dude, Joe just eats a ton. And Ashley will be like, yeah, but he's eating carrots. You know, so it's like, I feel like sometimes I get nervous or anxious because I feel like I like keep eating and other people have stopped. But then I got to remind myself that like, well, yeah, I had weeds. You know, I had a salad, or I'm eating carrots, they're eating potato chips. Like, it's totally different. If we look at the calorie density of what I'm eating, 150 grams of carrots is like 72 calories. 150 grams of potato chips is like 700. You know, it's crazy. So, you know, I've had to deal with some issues there, just personally, like feeling awkward in situations. But also, I am a 190 million% an emotional eater. That hits home for me big time. I'm also a boredom eater. Like, I'm at home, I got a cup of coffee, I'm doing some computer work, and I'm just like snacking on snacking. So I almost have to like divide up all my food for the day and be like, this is what I got, because that really helps me. And I've done other things like Kelly talked in the video about, like, if you need to distract yourself from eating or do this to get yourself to stop eating, like maybe you're missing the point. So I've tried to get better at like allowing myself to eat and then allowing myself time to sit in that place when I finish my meal and just give it time, 10, 15, 20 minutes, and just be like, are you actually hungry still? Or do you just want to eat more food? And giving myself permission both directions. If you are still hungry, maybe have a little bit more chicken. It's not like I'm going back and having more ice cream, you know, but that it's okay to have more broccoli, you know, but not just like eat. Like, take my time. And we're going to dive into some of these other things that can cause some of this, like distracted eating and stuff like that. But allow myself some time to like eat, take my time, savor the food, and not ridiculously, but like, don't just shovel it in my face, but take my time, enjoy the food, enjoy the bite, right? But then when I'm finished with the portion I made, you know, which is appropriate to what I have kind of portioned out for the day, allowing myself time to be like, am I honestly hungry? Am I just bored? Do I just want a cookie? Do I, you know? But then on the flip side of that, being okay with, you know, like, hey, you do want to eat a little bit more. That's fine. But like Kelly had referenced, like the birthday cake thing. Like, yeah, it's birthday cake. Like, don't beat yourself up about it. It doesn't really matter. And one thing, you know, not only working with Kelly a little bit, but my wife has really helped me out with is like, because she'll just call me on my ridiculousness, is like, dude, like, what's the fun in putting in all this work? It's like putting in all the fitness and not enjoying your fitness, right? Meaning like not going outside or going on hikes or doing something outside, or that I've built up in a really good base of strength and stamina and all this stuff. So it's okay to take a day off because you've done all this work so you can take days off, or you've eaten healthy, you know, I don't even like to use the word correctly. And I don't like, you know, I've eaten a certain way, you know, like 3 meals a day, say, times 365 days a year, you know, we're looking at, you know, let's just call it 1,200 meals, and 1,150 of them are weighed and measured and, you know, what I want to eat. Well, what are we talking about? We're talking about like 1 to 2% of the meals I eat a year are a little off the rails. You know, like I had pizza or a burger or, you know, ice cream or whatever. Like, what was the point in doing all the other stuff if you can't, you know, if you're going to beat yourself up emotionally, which is what I do, for doing the other things. You know, like we were down in Laguna this weekend for Barrett's birthday, and to hang out with my aunt, and there's a pizza place called Truly Pizza, which if you're down in Laguna, you got to get reservations, but it's awesome. Truly, Truly. And they do a wood-fired, artisanal pizza, and then they do a focaccia pizza, which if you've never had is phenomenal. And it's all like handmade artisanal dough, handmade ricotta, handmade mozzarella, it's insane. And I've noticed with higher quality ingredients, they also don't beat me up, right? I feel okay. But it's like, I'm gonna not have pizza with my family on my son's birthday while in Laguna at this amazing restaurant, or I'm gonna eat it and then emotionally beat myself up. Like, what am I doing? Right? And that's what I talk about. I've gone down all of these roads. So any questions you guys have about this stuff, about ways I've approached it, things have worked, things have not worked, I'm around for all the feedback. You know, like I've told you in a lot of these videos, I love talking about this stuff. So yeah, ask questions, get engaged. Hopefully we'll see you guys on Friday and throughout the week, and we'll have a great week of training. I started this video and realized I didn't bring out my cup of coffee, which was very upsetting. It is a Costa Rican blend from Robbie at Stell's. Just imagine it being delicious. So anyways, have an awesome week, guys, and we'll see you at the block. Deuces.